I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Are you getting the most from your woods? If you're a forest landowner, chances are you need the technical assistance of a forestry professional. We'll come to your land, walk it with you, and make professional recommendations for maximizing the health, productivity, sustainability, and potential of your forest based on your vision. You may even have cut over, eroded, or otherwise open land. Our foresters can prescribe the most cost-effective tree planting plan for you, including the best species to plant and the most appropriate spacing. If you own 10 or more acres and don't already have a management plan for your land, call the South Carolina Forestry Commission. We'll give you free, yes, free professional advice about managing your forest land and optimizing it for your goals, whether it's wildlife enhancement, aesthetic beauty, recreation, timber, or all of the above. Visit our website at scfc.gov to learn more.
South Carolina Forest, they'll grow on you.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Forestry Commission, South Carolina Broadcasters Association, and this station.
I'm Michael Jeffcoat. When good people get hurt in a bad wreck, a lot of insurance companies won't offer to pay full value to them. You deserve better than that. Call Jeffcoat. All hours, every day. 803-200-2000.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
Hey, this is Jen Jensen for CHW Cabinetry. My family is using CHW Cabinetry, and they are fantastic to work with. They make sure you're satisfied with every step of the process. Not only do their photorealistic renderings show exactly what your new space will look like, their job site guarantees everyone is on the same page, literally. Experience the CHW difference for yourself. Go to chwcabinetry.com to see more, or call them at 803-520-6837, and be sure to tell them Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
There's a new kind of welcome waiting for you at the Haven Harley-Davidson, and right now is the perfect time to ride. For a limited time, get 0 down, 2.5% APR, and up to $2,500 in customer cash on the 2025 Road Glide, Street Glide, and Street Glide Ultra. For riders navigating a bit of transition right now, know there's always a place to land. If you're looking for a place that rides with you, supports you, and knows what your Harley means to you, the Haven Harley-Davidson would be honored to be part of your journey. Discover more at 866-768-5095 or thehavenharley.com.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
All right, we will talk to Elijah Campbell, 5:15, live from Nashville. We think he's at the arena watching ball. He could be somewhere on Broadway watching ball in some place that has alcohol. We'll talk to Elijah no matter what from the SEC men's tournament. Trying to get a wrap-up of the South Carolina season, sponsored by Griffin Pools and Spas. Again, that's coming up at 5:15 here on the postgame show. Crescent Construction Grand Slam contest. We'll get back at it tomorrow as South Carolina travels to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators. You go to 1075thegame.com right now, and you look at the little flippy thingy, and when you see the Crescent Construction Grand Slam contest, you click on the flicky thingy, and then you fill out the little form. Boom, you're in. The pot will raise $25 every game. There's not a Grand Slam. We had someone win $425 when Talmadge LeCroy went yard with the bases loaded. What was it? Princeton series last weekend. So your chance to win cash. Go to 1075thegame.com to register for the Crescent Construction Grand Slam contest. And again, men's basketball is done. The women won't play again till the following week. So baseball all on 107.5 The Game here in Columbia and our affiliate 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Friday, 6:15 coverage. Saturday, 6:15 coverage. Sunday, 12:45 coverage. Of course, that's always weather permitting. All right. back to men's basketball. Obviously, last night, especially after that first 15 minutes, you're feeling pretty good. You know it's a long way to go. But South Carolina, after an excellent first 15 minutes, had a very not excellent next 25. Season's over 86-74. Real quick, Tanner Bronson did the post-game interview because Lamont Paris had to go and do the SEC tournament post-game presser. Here's Tanner Bronson talking about what went wrong in 2025-2026.
You know, I know Coach mentioned a lot of times, our shooting overall. I think we thought this team would be a good three-point percentage shooting team. I don't know what we ended up tonight, 38%. That'd be more what we thought we'd have on a regular night. Which you put up 74, you still got a chance. But, I think that was part of our struggles this year. And obviously the interior physicality and rebounding was something that we've always, we've struggled with here once we got to league play. And, there were some things that we improved on. I think guys like Kobe Knox, even Michi's game improved significantly. Some guys kind of found their way within the system, and I think we shot the ball a little bit better in the last couple games, but we just still couldn't quite get the stops and do the physical things that we needed to overcome a really talented SEC.
Yeah. A physically talented SEC and South Carolina physically, athletically, just didn't match up with the league. And we've had that conversation, and we'll get into that moving forward, some of the things that, again, just one schmo thinks South Carolina can do or hopefully will improve upon next year. We'll get into that. But, shooting the basketball, look, I've been saying this all year, and I get the thought process. Again, bringing in the players that South Carolina brought in. Most of these guys, whether it's Mongolian Mike, Kobe Knox, Elijah Strong, Kapik, a lot of the guys that came in through the portal that were perimeter players, I'll throw Eli Ellis in because he was supposed to be a much better three-point shooter than he was this past year. Let me put Eli Ellis to the side. I won't stay with the transfer guys. Their career percentages were right around average. Maybe a tick below average. But none of these guys were like Steph Curry. None of these guys were Nigel Pack. They were okay three-point shooters in their careers. And we're talking about 3-4 years of data. They were okay, right around average, a little below, but they weren't like wow three-point shooters. So if you're going to build around a team to shoot a ton of threes, you're hoping a bunch of guys who are average, okay, are going to at least be average and okay. Elijah Strong, it was the worst year he ever had shooting threes. Kobe Knox was below his career mark in shooting threes. Miles Studi, who made his career out of shooting threes, I think the injuries and wearing the mask and just Studi had his worst year shooting threes ever. I think that idea that you're building to fire a lot of three balls as a philosophy with a bunch of guys who are right around average at best, I don't know. If it works, if these guys all shot their career averages, it would probably been a little bit better. But again, some of the strength of what these guys did, like Kobe Knox and Mongolian Mike, was taking the ball to the rack. Elijah Strong shot 53% inside the three-point arc and shot about 28% outside. And Strong took a good amount of three-pointers. Again, you're not making them. And I understand. Lamont talked about the value if Strong can hit threes. It was like now you got basically a stretch 5 or a stretch 4 who can make threes. And you go into a pick and roll situation with that guy. It really puts heat on the defenders because, the roll man, the big, isn't automatically going to the basket. He could pop out and hit a three, and now you got to make some bad choices as a defender. I understand all of it. But at what point do you look at Elijah Strong and say, bro, you're not making threes. You're poor at it right now. I don't know. But anyway, that was kind of the philosophy of the season. You got a bunch of guys shooting threes, spreading the floor, and they spread the floor really well. Like Lamont's idea, structurally, coaching-wise, you could see it. They spread the floor. They got some really good opportunities to score inside the three-point line because the floor was so spread, the other team couldn't help. For a while there, they were one of the best two-point shooting teams in the country. They still were above average. You saw it. And when they moved the ball well, you just everything when it was working, even if it wasn't working, you could see what Lamont wanted to do. It just didn't have the dudes to do it. Now, does this all go back to the idea of, okay, more money that Jeremiah Donati, athletic director, says he's going to give to the program? Now do you go get better players to run the stuff you want to run at a higher level, more efficient, more effective? Maybe that's where it ends up going back. Because the future, if you're Lamont, obviously you want to get better in the interior. Your idea of spreading the court from a strategy perspective worked. You just didn't have the guys who could execute it. That's all. Do you go back to that? Or do you understand that, or do you think, I shouldn't say understand, do you think that maybe you need to balance it up with some more interior quality for this upcoming year? Because the interior killed you on both ends of the court this year. It killed you. It just did. And you were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in America. So what you built yourself upon didn't work at all, and you had no interior to be a plan B or really anything else with a solid, consistent plan B if you weren't making threes. So moving forward for the future with more resources financially, I'm thinking point guard. Be nice to have a alpha dog kind of first option on offense, and it would be good to have some kind of interior presence. I think those are the boxes you check. I think you want to be more athletic. I think this team has got to get more athletic. You just do. I think that's a thing. And strength. Lamont talked about being stronger and more aggressive. So those things are definitely where you got to go. I will continue this conversation on the other side as we talk more about the ending of the men's basketball season. It's a post-game show with Terry Ford. Appreciate you hanging out with us. We run up until 6. We'll hear from Lamont Paris on what he learned from this year next on the post-game show on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips for our good friends at Cato's Power Equipment. Ben, Matt, Andrew, the entire crew at Cato's, ready to make sure that everything that you need for your yard work is right in front of you. The latest from Steel, from Toro, from Gravely, battery-powered, gas-powered. Listen, the service department, second to none in this town. They've been in business since 1983, so you know they know what's up, right? It's that simple when it comes to what they do at Cato's Power Equipment. And a lot of the battery-powered things now, they won't be in the service department. They'll be working for you a whole lot longer, and they're just as powerful as so many of the things from generations past. I love my Toro equipment. Can't wait to use it when it's time for yard work because I get it done well, I get it done faster. Check them out online. See the entire inventory. As I've said for many, many years now, whether you do it for yourself or you do it for a living, you need to work with the great people at Cato's. CatosPowerEquipment.com, 4012 West Beltline Boulevard. Family owned since 1983. That's Cato's.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
Are you a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system? AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA Heating and Air now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling 803-677-1500 for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell them Jay Phillips with 107.5 sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers statewide. Officers must be at least 18 years of age and have a high school diploma or GED. If you have correctional, police, security, or military experience, you can join their team at a promotional rank as a sergeant or lieutenant. Discover a rewarding correctional career with a room for long-term career advancement and a generous employee benefits package that cares for you and your family. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today. Sponsored by SC Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station.
Start your day with Drake C. Toll.
I'm Drake Toll, on the air from 6 a.m. to 9 Eastern, getting you to work every day. To do that with Westwood One, the Oxford University of Names and Sports Media. Buckle up.
Then Black and Abdallah.
That shot was insane.
Is that what you would say on the air?
You're the play-by-play guy.
Abdallah being testy. All right, here we go.
And Westwood One Sports Night.
Stay on the line, get on the call, talk about whatever you want. That's what we're doing on Westwood One Sports Night.
Westwood One Sports Talk. Follow and listen on your favorite platform. The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Oh, April 3rd, baby. It's back. Spring Golf Classic at Charwood in West Columbia. You want to jump in? It's 803-755-2000. You press 2 to get the clubhouse. Maybe we'll give out Rock's home number. You start calling Rock himself. We always appreciate Rock and Daniel Lucas and their partnership with us on our 2 golf tournaments a year. Like always, again, our buddy Saki is always ready to help us out with the Morning Libations Bar. World-famous onion sausage for breakfast as well, sponsored or provided by the Lexington Gamecock Club. We will also supply lunch. The golf gun is back. It's good times, man. April 3rd at Charwood, our Spring Golf Classic. I think our 97th annual. Again, 803-755-2000, $400 a team. Just press 2 for the clubhouse to register. All right, we've been talking a lot about what happened last night. South Carolina, the men's basketball season is over. They lose to Oklahoma to fall to 13-19 overall. Just missed a third 20-loss season for Lamont. And of course, all that's sandwiched around a 26-win season and a second-place finish in the SEC and a trip to the NCAA tournament. So Lamont last night in the postgame was asked what he had learned from a challenging 2025-2026 basketball season.
Patience, I think, is a big part of it. Just in trying to get a particular message across and trying to get guys to pick up on certain things. And we improved. We got better at a lot of things. Growth, I always say growth happens on your timeline. You can't force the growth. It just happens on whatever the timeline is as you absorb and can process information. And so this team, while it grew significantly, grew slower. And so I think in some ways that led to part of it. Early on we also had a lot of different lineups, and it was a combination of not only consistency on behalf of some guys' parts, but we also had some injuries. We had probably 3 different concussions early on in the season, so we didn't have a long stretch of the same lineup for a long time. But you try to take some time to process the season immediately after the season. But it's just how to keep on persevering and learning more about how the guys process information. It changes from year to year. I feel like in the last couple of years it's changed even more for a variety of reasons. But just you're constantly always trying to learn your team. I think I've heard probably more coaches saying that this year more than any other year I've been around. But constantly trying to learn your team and push buttons that can help them be better. But we did have a resilient group. I mean, if you look at even this game, the way we came out in this game and the way that we played, it wasn't for any lack of effort. Certainly that we didn't come out on top. And so, hopefully it'll be a good experience for some of the guys, some of the younger guys. Really just how to always learning and taking in how to get a message across and what buttons to push. The buttons continually change, and that's a part of your job as the coach to find the button that incites any particular reaction.
Yeah, I mean, yes, buttons to push. How do you motivate? How do you motivate these guys? How do you get them to play to their ultimate level on both ends of the court? How do you motivate them to get there? What do you do? And this year just didn't seem like, for the second year in a row. I mean, last year you had an NBA first-round pick in Colin Murray Boyles, who kind of cleaned up a lot of the warts on that basketball team last year. I mean, last year it was the perimeter that hurt the squad. This year it was the interior. But, you're constantly trying to find the way. And these two teams are totally different squads. But some of the things they shared, I mean, there were times it felt like these teams not giving up, but they just kind of threw their hands in the air and said, we got no chance to win. And you can't be that way. Look, I know it's human nature sometimes when the people across from you are just better to just go out of hell with it. I mean, you're trying, but you're also, frustrated. So it's not like I give up on my team. I'm just frustrated because we're not as good. I think we saw that the last 2 years, even though, again, different players. I think if you're Lamont, and now you're going to get more financial resources to help you go out and get better players, and he talked about this, was it Tuesday? About the kind of players you want to go get. It's off the court too. I mean, you got to find more dogs, less cats. You know that one. And you just have to. You got to find more guys who just have that ache to win. Look, I always said there's a difference between wanting to win and aching to win. Look, most people want to win, but do you ache to win? Do you do that extra rep? Take those extra shots in the gym when no one's looking. Do extra plyometrics, do extra lifting, do the things that sacrifice to win. Do you ache to win? You got to find some dudes who ache to win. This year's team, I think they wanted to win. I do. I just don't think they were, talent-wise, they weren't as good as pretty much almost everybody in the SEC. And again, does that go to the money you were given to build a roster? Sure, but that also goes to roster building, and that is a question moving forward with Lamont, is about building the roster. I mean, I know that there are assistants with Lamont. I know Kerry Rich does a phenomenal job in his role. But I do think Lamont could use a veteran assistant next to him, someone who in the I'm kind of like your assistant head coach kind of way to, not push back, but, be collaborative in some things with Lamont. Does Lamont need someone else on the administrative level to help evaluate talent and go look for guys to help Kerry Rich? I mean, do you need a couple of bodies? Is that part of the, resources to help this program? There are a lot of teams who have that grizzled old assistant. And we joked about it, like the old coach in dodgeball. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Do you need that assistant who has been there and done that before? Has been either part of championship teams as assistant? Has he been a head coach who's had higher success than Lamont has? Then now is just kind of an assistant. Do you need that guy? Do you need someone to help out in the chasing of talent? Watching, tape of 5 billion guys who are in the portal to say, hey, Lamont, here's some guys that might fit what we're looking for, blah, 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 blah. Do you need infrastructure help? Like I said, there are guys that Lamont has that are doing great work, but do they need help? Do you need extra bodies? Because, it's tough, man. You hit the portal, there's 17 bazillion players in the portal, and you got to evaluate. I think Tyler and the Gamecock Central guys call it speed dating. I totally agree. A couple extra bodies to help out wouldn't be a bad thing. And maybe somebody on the bench who might have, a different angle on things that goes with experience and wisdom might be helpful as well. I don't know. Is that part of the more resources to the basketball program? We'll see. But you got to go out. To me, again, you got to get quicker and more athletic. You still want talent and high basketball IQ, but there's some quick, twitchy, athletic guys who also have talent and IQ. I think again, you need a scorer. You need a pure number one option. You need a point guard like a Talon Cooper. God, I wish he had more eligibility. And you need some guys in the paint that can help you on both ends of the court. I think that's where you got. To me, that's where you got to go. That's the spiel. All right, we got the vault to open up coming up next here on the postgame show. What happened on this day? What is this day? March 12th. We got that next here on the postgame show with Terry Ford. Thanks for hanging. We go till 6 here on The Game Network, and at The Game TV radio on YouTube.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Clippers beat the Timberwolves last night 153 to 128. The Clippers have now completely turned around their season. They were the first team to be below 500 by 15 games and get back to 500 within the same season in NBA history. After trading James Harden, it looked like the season was over for the Clippers, but someone forgot to tell Kawhi Leonard that was the case. I'm Chris Black.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. That's 800-676-1090.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
Paid for by Airtime Media. Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month, level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. 800-676-1090. That's 800-676-1090.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. Time to open the vault, sponsored by Purple Wave Auction. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
I'll check the vault in a minute. We have sweet deals. Just go to 1075thegame.com. Like, for an example, one of our sweet deals, the Columbia YMCA, 50% off a 6-month membership. I'm a YMCA nerd. Have been for years and years and years. Again, don't let that stop you. It's not like I'm there all the time. Every now and then I'll get somebody, like I'll talk to somebody and they'll go, you know, your voice sounds familiar. Let me ask you something. Are you Jay Phillips? Sure I am. Columbia YMCA featured sweet deal, 50% off a 6-month membership. Go to 1075thegame.com, and up the top there you'll see the two-word sweet deals. Click there and see all the cool sweet deals that we have to offer. All right, the vault. Let's roll with it. We're going to try to get not just this day in sports history, but maybe something in movie history. We'll try. We'll see. All right, here we go. We always like real old school. 1937, the first National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, the NAIA, men's basketball tournament was won by that juggernaut, Central Missouri State. It was an 8-team single elimination tournament. They beat Morningside College. You know where that's at? Me either. It's in Iowa. 35-24 was the final. This day in 1984, if you're into figure skating, an iconic ice dancing duo, Torval and Dean, won the world championships, had 9 perfect marks. I do believe they also did well in the Olympics, if my memory serves me. But yeah, Torval and Dean, one of the great ice dancing duos of all time, won the world championships in 1984. A year later, you might have heard of this guy, excellent ice dancer as well, Larry Bird. Scored 60 points, including Boston's last 16 to set a Celtic record in a 126-115 win over the Atlanta Hawks. And Bird was, before his back started to pretty much take him out of the game, and Bird was something else. Unreal. 1994, the Arkansas men's track and field team won their 11th straight NCAA indoor championship, setting a meet record. Won by 54 points. 2002, Siena beat Alcorn State in the play-in game, becoming the first team in 47 years to win an NCAA tournament men's basketball game with a losing record. And again, that's the play-in round, and it does count. But Siena at 17 and 18, the first team with a losing record to win an NCAA tournament game. 2003. Now, I remember Robin Ventura at Oklahoma State. And of course, Robin Ventura went on to a long Major League Baseball career, mostly known, though, for the guy that Nolan Ryan noogied on the head in that brawl. Robin Ventura had the NCAA hitting streak record for about 15, 16 years. Well, Damian Castellano broke Robin Ventura's record by hitting in 60 consecutive games. That streak ended today in 2003. I need to look up whatever happened to that guy. So he wasn't in the majors, in my memory. 2005, Bodie Miller becomes the first American in 22 years to win skiing's overall World Cup title. Miller had first time in the Olympics underwhelming, though came back, I think, 4 years later and did win. Did get up on the medal stand for the United States. I think he got a gold before it was all said and done. I know he medaled. But his first Olympics was a disaster. And he was looked at as was going to be a great American story at the Olympics. We see it every now and then. Especially in skiing, you'll see an American supposed to be wow, and they underwhelm, and some American will come out of nowhere and do really well. 2009, on this day, we're talking about a lot of conference tournaments in college hoops, right? Well, on this day, one of the most craziest Big East tournament games ever happened.
Another exhilarating finish between Syracuse and Connecticut at the Garden. Biebendorf at the buzzer. Oh! Good! They're going to wave it off. They did. Flynn heads for the bucket. Flynn with the beat on him. Off to Jackson. How good is this? And now the age-old question, if you're Connecticut in the right situation, do you foul before they can shoot a three? Routens makes it a moot point. Does it get any better? Harrison close. Missed again. Harris one more time. No! In the corner. Adrian. No! An historic sixth overtime. Routens looks fresh as a daisy.
This is a tribute to loving the game and putting it all on the line.
Syracuse and UConn played in the second longest Division I game ever on this day, capping the Big East tournament. 127-117, 6 overtimes. Unreal. All right, in the world of entertainment, I don't have time to play a cut. In the world of entertainment on this day in 2023 at the 95th Academy Awards, Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Film. That's a movie. Look, my girlfriend was one of those ones she forced me to watch because she read about how great it was. I'm like, sure, okay, I'll watch it with you, whatever. It was a really good movie. I looked at her, I said, damn, thanks for bugging me into watching that. That was excellent. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once won Best Picture on this day in 2023. All right, there is your vault. We will come back for a 4 p.m. hour, talk baseball, big series, big opening series coming up.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
The Men's Clinic of South Carolina, 803-875-MENS. 803-875-MENS. We say that number twice, write it down, give them a call. If you're a guy and just, what's up with my life? I'm not as strong as I used to be. I don't recover from workouts like I did. I can't remember stuff. I don't sleep like I used to. I don't have any drive in any way, shape, or form in my life. What is happening? Go check out the Men's Clinic. Sit down, have that free confidential consultation with Dr. Dan and the staff. Tell them your story. They'll do a free testosterone test on you. It could just be low T. And if it is low T, they'll put you on a program specifically designed to get you back to feeling you again. Whatever the issue, whatever the case, they'll do everything they can to help you at the Men's Clinic, 803-875-MENS, Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Explore the world with the 31st Annual Columbia International Festival, April 18th and 19th at the State Fairgrounds with free parking. Experience over 100 national exhibits, cuisines from around the world, an international bazaar, a global fashion show, an Olympic-style flag ceremony, and performers from around the globe. Now partnering with the SC250 Revolutionary Discovery Center. For tickets and more information, visit cifonline.org. That's cifonline.org.
Are you a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system? AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA Heating and Air now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling 803-677-1500 for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell them Jay Phillips with 107.5 sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-902-5454. That's 800-902-5454. 800-902-5454.
Hey y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Postgame Show. Hour number 2, Terry Ford. Appreciate you hanging around with us as we stumble and bumble our way to 6 o'clock here on the Game Network, and on our cool little YouTube channel at the Game TV Radio. Appreciate you hanging out with us, whether you give us a call on the AAA Heating and Air hotline, the Firehouse Sub text line, 803-404-6100. Maybe you jump in our little chat box on our YouTube channel. However you participate with us, we thank you very much. All right, so baseball this weekend, 6:15 coverage Friday and Saturday, 6:30 first pitch both days. Sunday, 12:45 pregame. 1 o'clock first pitch. South Carolina, Florida. I will say this, and by the way, South Carolina pitching rotation is out for the weekend against Florida. Josh Gunther will take the ball on Friday, Amp Phillips Saturday, and then one of my favorite pitchers, TBD, on Sunday. Not Riley Goodman, but to be determined. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, Amp Phillips has been good. Josh Gunther has been either really good or eh. And Riley Goodman's just struggled with command and control. So we'll see who the starter is on Sunday. Friday and Saturday, well, Florida's got their rotation set. And we'll go over it real quick. We said Josh Gunther on Friday for South Carolina, Amp Phillips Saturday. The pitcher TBA for South Carolina on Sunday. For Florida, look, they got two hammers, man. Not going to sugarcoat it. Liam Peterson, Aiden King. Liam Peterson's a guy who could hear his name in the first round of the MLB draft. His stuff, when Liam Peterson is on, it's a lot of filth. Aiden King, his ERA this year, 0 after 4 starts. Cooper Walls, his ERA 4.50 on the season. He obviously has not been as good as King or Peterson. But that Friday, Saturday pitching matchups, just to be honest, they favor Florida. Not to say Florida's going to win those games, just saying the pitching matchups, if you look at whether it's on paper, the stats, whether you look at the stuff for the pitchers, whatever, Florida has the advantage. And then Sunday, we'll see where it goes. SEC Network Plus will carry all 3 contests. Florida's number 23 in the country, 15-3 overall, lost 2 out of 3 to High Point last weekend, and they could have been swept. South Carolina, obviously, we know the up and down struggles of the Gamecocks so far this year. So, again, that's a pitching matchup. Josh Gunther versus Liam Peterson on Friday. Amp Phillips versus Aiden King on Saturday. TBA for South Carolina. Cooper Walls takes the ball on Sunday for the Gators. You know, South Carolina, when you look at stats and where everything's at right now, there are a few guys. Look, offensively, the team has lacked consistency. It's kind of top heavy right now. But the guys who are bringing it, Talmadge LeCroy, KJ Scobie, Will Craddock, Logan Sutter, Patrick Evans. Those guys are hitting over 300. And their secondary numbers also are good to solid to really good. For an example, Scobie, 338 on the year, slugging 571, 354 on base. OPS of, that will be over 900 OPS. Talmadge LeCroy's had a really nice season so far, 317 batting average, 567 slugging, 440 on base. LeCroy's OPS, which is on base and slugging combined, if you don't know, over 1,000. Will Craddock has been something as a freshman. 432 batting average, 818 slugging, 544 on base, over 1,300 OPS. And Logan Sutter, a slow start. Sutter's got it cooking. 366 batting average, 829 slugging to lead the team, 422 on base, also OPS over 1,200. So Craddock and Sutter, Scobie and LeCroy, those 4 guys have really have just, their numbers are excellent. Patrick Evans, after a slow start's also gotten it going, 304 batting average, 652 slugging, 396 on base. His OPS is over 1,000. So you got Scobie, LeCroy, Craddock, Sutter, Evans, their OPS, all at least over 900. 4 of the 5 over 1,000. And again, Craddock and Sutter over 1,200. That's the good news there. Tyler Bach, I mean, it's been all right. 281, but a 406 on base, which is really good, obviously, if you're over 400. Slugging is only 421. Well, those are the guys who have been above average to really good. It's been very top-heavy. Ethan Lozama has struggled. Dawson Harmon has struggled as well. Aaron Jameson did hit a couple of home runs, but has been struggling. Obviously, Bo Hollins is not healthy or hasn't got himself back to being Bo Hollins. So that's kind of the way your lineup is right now and how you got to mix and match it. You got to have those guys. You got to have Craddock and Sutter, Scobie, LeCroy, and probably Bach in the lineup right now. You just have to. How are you going to play them defensively? Figure it out. I guess we're going to play Scobie at short. LeCroy's behind the plate. Bach is, I guess, in center. Craddock has played second. Can play first. Sutter, second baseman by trade. So right now, you probably have Sutter at second, have Craddock at first. And if Bo Hollins gets healthy at some point, then you have to have more conversations about how you line people up in the field. But that's probably it right now. Craddock at first, Sutter at second, Scobie at short, Bach in center, LeCroy behind the plate. It's probably where you're going because those are the guys offensively who have been really helping you out. All right, Florida on the season, if you talk about stats, Brendan Lawson, who will end up being a high Major League Baseball draft pick. Brandon, 9 home runs this year in 57 at-bats. That's just stupid. A home run every 6 at-bats is just insane. Also, Lawson hitting .421 on the season. He's slugging over 1,000. Run that through your head. This guy is slugging over 1,000. And his on-base percentage is just a tick under 600. This gentleman's OPS is 1616. That's illegal. It's so out of control. That's just wow. OPS also over 1,000. 2 other guys, Kyle Jones, Blake Sear. But right now, Lawson has 9 of the Gators' 27 team home runs, a third of the team home runs right now. Now, again, Jones and Sear are also very dangerous, hitting way over 300. Like I said, their OPS over 1,000 also. Ethan, I might mess it up. Sorwick, hitting over 300, OPS about 950. So the Gators also very top-heavy offensively. They're hitting over 300 as a team, slugging over 500, on base over 400. So much of that is Brandon Lawson, or at least those top 3. Yeah, we talked about the pitching. Again, the 2 starters, ridiculous. Liam Peterson, his ERA is 3.72 now. He has given up some runs. But when Peterson's got it going, very tough to hit. His whip is 1.19. Aiden King has given up no runs in 17 1/3 innings. His whip is right around 1. Those 2 are hammers. Let's just be fair. We talked about Cooper Walls, 4.0 ERA, a whip of 1.36. Again, this is a guy he's been hittable. Has not given up a home run, but he has given up 16 hits in 14 innings. And his ERA is 4.5. That is obviously the weak link of the 3 for Florida. But the Gators this year, 15-3 overall. But had that weird high point series last weekend where Florida barely escaped without getting swept. So, again, we get it going Friday, 6:15. First SEC series. Again, Florida's number 23 in the country. So right now they're not looked at as a top tier SEC squad at the moment. But they're really good. And South Carolina not ranked, obviously, with consistency issues. But if you can somehow go into Gainesville, win Sunday when the pitching matchup is not daunting, and can steal one of those first 2 games against 2 high-level pitchers and find a way to crawl out of Gainesville, taking 2 out of 3, that would not be bad. That would not be bad at all. So we will see what happens. It gets kind of the stink of that Citadel loss off of you. And that's a smell. That's that smell when your nose gets somewhere near your own pitch. You go, whoa, woo, wow, Man, I smell. That was that loss. We went over it yesterday. Everything was bad. Defense, 4 errors. You gave up 7 stolen bases in 7 attempts. Pitching, 9 walks and a hit batter. Offensively, only 4 hits. It was bad. Besides Will Craddock, there was nothing good. Now, talking about stolen bases, because that could be a thing before this is all said and done. Florida this year, keep this in mind. In 18 games, Florida has attempted 19 steals, or 14 of 19. Kyle Jones is 4 of 5. Blake Sear is 4 of 4. So if those two guys are getting on, they're a combined 8 of 9. South Carolina had trouble stopping the run game versus Citadel. Last time I checked, Florida probably has a videotape machine. They probably watched the tape of Citadel going 7 for 7 in stolen bases. So if Jones and Sear are getting on, that's going to be a cat and mouse game. Again, pitchers have to hold runners. Pitchers have to go mound to home fast. Lee Croy's pop-up time has to get quicker, and you get more accurate on your throws. Everybody's got to help each other. Pitcher's got to help the catcher, and the catcher's got to help himself. And if the pitcher is holding runners and quick to the plate, that's helping him and helping to stop a run game. So we'll see where that goes. Keep that in the back of your head when you watch the series. Just saying. Will Florida try to take advantage of what the Citadel did regarding the run game versus South Carolina? Again, 6:15, our coverage starts tomorrow. 6:15 also Saturday, 12:45 on Sunday. Gamecock baseball right here on the Game in Columbia and our affiliate 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. Appreciate you jumping on our cool little YouTube channel. And, of course, our live stream, powered by Integrated Media, and our engineer, Randy Young, and sponsored by our buds at Shepherd's Glass. And we appreciate you very much. All right, we'll pop back in. Let's spin back to baseball. No, we just spun baseball. Let's spin back to men's basketball. Here from Lamont Paris, his thoughts on last night's game. And also Tanner Bronson, Lamont's assistant, maybe some conversation about last night's game as well. That is coming up next. And last night's game was the loss to Oklahoma that ended the Gamecock season. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out. We are running up until 6 with the post-game show on the Game Network, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by Odoo.com. All your business apps in one place. Your business deserves tools to make you feel in control, not overwhelmed. With Odoo's all-in-one, easy-to-use platform, everything is together so you can focus on what matters. Start at Odoo.com today. That's ODOO.com.
Plus, tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus, savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's MidstateRoofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at MidstateRoofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey, y'all. Jay Phillips here for my good friends at Dan's Van City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet, quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon, Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City, 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
If you are looking for a local, reliable, and family-owned HVAC service right here in the Midlands, you can trust our friends over at Krantz Cooling and Heating since 1983. They've been taking care of residents and businesses right here in the Midlands. Krantz Cooling, that's Krantz, cooling with a K, KrantzCooling.com, or 803-672-3224. You can schedule a visit online and get more information at KrantzCooling.com.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Postgame show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us as we just again stumble our way till 6 o'clock. Like young Terry Ford on New Year's Eve. Men's basketball last night, it's a wrap. Season is over, 13-19. Lamont Paris will be back next season. Athletic Director Jeremiah Donati announced that this week. Lamont talking to the media after the game. Again, first 15 minutes, South Carolina was phenomenal. Last 25 minutes, Gamecocks struggle. Oklahoma got on fire in the second half. And, 13-point lead for South Carolina in the first half. 12-point win. That's a 25-point swing in this basketball game. Here is Lamont talking about what happened to the offense in the first half after the freshman Walker missed a three. It was like 6.5 minutes to go in the first half when Walker missed that three. And here's Lamont talking about what happened.
I don't know that one shot would derail what you were doing that way. Guys have to have freedom to play offensively and know who they are. I mean, he's made some threes. We err on the side of having, we try to get guys that know who they are as a player and pretty much stick to the things that they do well. A big part of it too was, like Kobe mentioned, you had Mike and Kobe in some foul trouble, and so that meant extended minutes for some other guys. I thought Michi was tired at one point in the first half, and then what's your substitution going to be at that point? And so we rode with that group for a long time, and so we had a good flow. That group had a good flow going. We were moving, cutting, passing. We called maybe a little more plays, a few more plays in the first half than we did in the second half. Maybe we could have gone back to that a little bit more. But still, as I look at it, we still had some good shots that didn't go down, that maybe don't necessarily win the game, but they put the game within a range. Just making a reasonable amount of those shots puts the game in a range within that you can, play well for the next couple minutes and we'll be right where you need to be. But I think those guys and just that group was in a groove, and then when the fouls happened, it forced some substitutions, and they just never got it back in that first half.
They were talking about from E.J. Walker. He took a three and missed it. It was like 6.5 minutes left in the half. Walker missed a three. And from that point on, what happened on offense? And again, E.J. Walker is not a good three-point shooter. He's taken some this year. He's made a few, but he's got hitting like 24, 25% from three, which is not good. It's just not good. But if you look through the rest of the half, still a 10-point lead. It was 13. Mike Sharvajamps hit a three, possession before, to make it 36-23. Nigel Paxton turned the ball over. South Carolina came down. E.J. Walker took a 25-footer, missed it. Then Nigel Pack came down, banged a three. It was a 10-point game. Then Pack hit another shot. It's an 8-point game. But Kobe Knox, he hit a three. It's back to 11. That's when Oklahoma really started to attack inside against South Carolina, and eventually that 14-3 run tied the game going into the locker room. Tanner Bronson, South Carolina assistant, was on with Derek and Casey in the postgame, and he talked about something that I think was huge, was the foul trouble to Kobe Knox and Mongolian Mike, and that really kind of threw off the rhythm of the offense and really the team in the first half.
Yeah, we had all the momentum early. Most of the first half, got to 13. They call a timeout. We pick up those two fouls back-to-back and those two guys out the last 4 minutes, and all of a sudden you're tied at half. Just felt like the momentum really shifted kind of on those two guys having to sit.
We said this in the opening riff of the show, that Sharvajamps and Knox are the two most efficient offensive players this team had, and really should have had more shots this year, should have scored more points. Both should have been more aggressive. So when those two dudes go out in foul trouble, that did kind of knock the offense kooky, and they never could get it back again. And that did hurt. That was the thing. And so South Carolina, after, again, first 15 minutes, you played well. You had a double-digit lead. But then after that, it was all Oklahoma. Matter of fact, Oklahoma outscored South Carolina by 25 after that. Let's get back to Lamont Paris real quick. Lamont kind of talks about the defensive struggles that South Carolina had versus Oklahoma in this basketball game.
We came out and we're doing some good things defensively. And then they got into a groove with some of their ball screen stuff. I mean, we switched, we changed ball screen coverages a few times, and they had a good answer for each one. Their bigs did a good job of catching the ball in a short roll and then making some decisions. They also took the ball away a couple of times, but by and large, I think their bigs made good decisions. A lot of it stemmed from that. They switched it some, so the ball screen was slightly less effective, and then they attacked us off the dribble, and when we had some matchups that weren't ideal. Ball screening, the process of screening is changing, and there's a thing that's happening, without getting too deep into it or getting myself in trouble. There's a thing that's happening in ball screening, and it's different. It hasn't been this way in recent years, and so they performed it well. We had a hard time adapting to it, and it's on the cusp of, whether it's illegal, just like so many things are. I can block out very aggressively, and sometimes it's going to be a foul, and sometimes it's not going to be a foul. But we were navigating this game specifically in how to figure out how to guard that particular ball screen situation in an effective way. But I think a lot of it came down to that. But then they also made some shots in the first half. I thought we played pretty good defense in a couple of situations, and they made shots that we normally would concede that a player at this level is going to settle for that shot above all other things, and they made a couple of those shots. But yeah, that was, and then our offense didn't keep pace. We were, for the first 2/3 of the first half, maybe 3/4 of the first half. I thought offensively we were getting a lot of things, playing well, making shots, and ultimately our offense did not keep pace that allowed them to get back into the game. And then with what they were doing offensively, they extended the lead in the second half. And again, we had some guys that didn't shoot the ball well, generated pretty good shots. It was a little harder in the second half. They were pretty physical with us, but overall, we had some guys that just, would like to have the day back and like to have those shots back, and runs would have been normal runs to where you're within a window of 4, 5, 6 on either side of being even. Instead, it got up to double figures, and we tried to make one more charge and cut it back down to 10, maybe, I think, at one point. And then again, we were being aggressive at that point, and they took advantage of it.
I mean, yeah, to Lamont's point, first of all, give Oklahoma credit. They made some shots that if you're guarding a guy and he pulls up like 30-some feet from the basket with the shot clock about to expire and hoists a three, you're like, okay, good luck. And if it goes in, you go, well, all righty, tip your cap. Same thing when the shot clock's about to run out and a guy throws up some kind of fadeaway turnaround from like 18 feet and it goes in, you're like, okay. There's nothing you can do about stuff like that. There's just not. But Lamont was talking about ball screens, and Lamont talking about certain things, the legality of doing this or doing that. All I know is this. South Carolina struggled this year with ball screen defense all season. Really, really struggled. And defensively, look, offensively, we've gone over this a lot. So defensively, they just, in the interior, they had nothing. There was no defensive presence in the paint at all. And on the perimeter, Knox is a good defender. Stute, when healthy, a good defender. Michi, inconsistent, but can be a good defender at times, but not consistently good. Defensively, he just wasn't there. And teams exploited it. I mean, Oklahoma, not only were they raining threes, they were also beating South Carolina off the bounce. Because you got some guys out there like, Kapich and Ellis, who, even though they're trying, because of physical limitations, are defensive liabilities. And, Sharma Jance is, he's defensively, that's not his wheelhouse. Consistently, either. It's just not a good defensive team overall when you look at team defense. And Oklahoma took advantage of that last night. They went inside in the last 5 minutes of the first half, and that's where the game started to turn itself around. All right, we'll pop back. Interesting comments from SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey in the last week in Nebraska. We're back to court. That's coming up here on the Postgame Show on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Friday, April 3rd, the Spring Golf Classic at Charwood in West Columbia with our buddies Rock and Daniel Lucas. And we have Saki's Morning Libations Bar before tee-off. Also, the classic onion sausage presented by the Lexington Gamecock Club. Yeah, I know you're going to ask. We have the golf gun. All that Friday, April 3rd. Again, $400 a team, $100 for an individual. 803-755-2000 and press number 2. April 3rd. It's the Spring Golf Classic from the Game.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Plus tax tags entitled with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot. Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
All right, we'll get our first look at the traffic this afternoon. Got a few accidents, not too bad so far. Percival Road at I-77. Also Leesburg Road west of Lower Richland Boulevard. I-26 westbound after Piney Grove at exit 104, also an accident. The shoulder is blocked. We have an accident. Reported I-20 westbound right before US 1, that's exit 58. Got a little stop and go traffic in Columbia, I-20 westbound between Broad River Road and US 1. And slow traffic as well in Lexington, I-26 westbound between exit 110 and 106. That's 378 and St. Andrews.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Alrighty, post-game show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out. Greg Sankey was on Paul Feinbaum. Has it been a week yet? Or a little bit less than, Monday. So it's been earlier this week. We haven't had a chance to really talk about this. And Greg Sankey basically was talking about his frustrations regarding what's going on in the world of college athletics. And I understand Greg Sankey's frustrations about, whether it's eligibility rules, whether it's, the craziness with NIL, transfer portal, whatever. We have all sorts of craziness going on in the world of college athletics. And the problem is, and I say this all the time, everyone's looking out for themselves, which I get it, because Greg Sankey wasn't hired to fix the ills of college athletics. Greg Sankey was hired to do everything he could to make the SEC as great as they can be. Greg Sankey was hired to look out for the best interests of the Southeastern Conference, not college athletics. Greg Sankey gets a nice big paycheck, and who signs it? The SEC. Same thing with Tony Petitti at the Big Ten. The Big Ten signs Petitti's contract. His job is not to fix college athletics. His job is to do everything he can to make the Big Ten as successful as possible. Even if it means what's good for the SEC and the Big Ten might not be good for college athletics. I mean, this is easy. And that's the problem around college athletics in general. Everybody's looking out for themselves. No one's looking out for the greater good of the game or the greater good of college sports. Everybody says that out of one side of their face, but what they do on the other side of their face. You come up with this CSC, this College Sports Commission thing or whatever, that's supposed to regulate these NIL deals. Where everybody's looking to, okay, how do we work around the CSC? Wait a minute, you agreed to having it. Yeah, we agreed to it, but we also want to find a way to, get around it. How do we manipulate it? How do we get over on it? So if you're doing that, what's the point of agreeing on something in general, even though, what's funny? This is part of the House settlement, the CSC, right? That was put together by the NCAA. And who's the NCAA? Oh, the schools. So the College Sports Commission was put together to, try to regulate these NIL deals. Well, the schools have not signed off on this thing. So since you haven't signed off on it, you haven't legally bound yourself to it in whatever way, shape, or form. So if you're the schools and you want somebody to regulate NIL deals, but you won't even sign off on it because there might be a time where you're going to have to use your state courts to screw this thing over for the greater good of your, university. Because, again, it's about winning. Nothing else matters. That's the problem. And Greg Sankey can sit there all day and say, well, the SEC will just go off and make their own rules. Well, good luck with that. Because you know what? Unless they're collectively bargaining with players, you're going to end up in court. Good luck, Greg. Good luck. Unless you can get Congress, which you won't, to give you some kind of antitrust exemption, you're not getting anything from Capitol Hill. And here's why. There are folks in Congress that don't want you to have the power that you had. I'm talking about the NCAA and the powers that be. They don't want you to take it back to what it was 10 years ago. They don't want you going backwards. Basically, they want players to get paid. They want, transfer rules that aren't stifling. They're not going to give you an antitrust exemption. You're not getting it. So what do? Well, go off and make your own rules. Make your own SEC laws. Come down from the mountain, Greg, with 2 big tablets. Here are the 10 commandments of the SEC. And then watch the line of people who sue your butt. And you're most likely going to lose because those commandments are going to some way, shape, or form, I don't know, break antitrust. But Greg, talk all you want, man. I'm with you. Go get them, baby. You're going to lose. I've said this before. You've got, and look, I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know it doesn't sound popular. People like want to throw up in their mouth. You've got to collectively bargain. But why? But here's my thing. Why would players want to do that right now? If you're a player, why would you want to, in any way, shape, or form, bargain away all the freedoms you now have? Why would you? So even trying to collectively bargain might not work, because if you're, again, the power brokers of college athletics, and first of all, you don't want to sit down and lower yourself to negotiate with players, a bunch of 18 to 23-year-olds. I get it. I don't want to negotiate with my 19-year-old. I get it. But you're at a point now where the game is in chaos. There are no rules. It's like the athletics version of the purge, without obviously the extreme violence. And there's no rhyme, reason, rules of anything. Anytime you try to make a rule, someone just takes you to court and you get whooped. And so even just saying about collectively bargaining, I say that and it just hit me. Why would players want to even do that? You got all the advantages. It's like, okay, what are you going to give me to give you some rules and regulations? Because I like it without the rules and regulations. There are some schools who like it the way it is now because it's to their advantage. You think Texas Tech is loving life right now. BYU is loving life. Look at all the money those cats are spending. Both of those schools. And now they both matter. They're both winning. And again, let's go back to the original point. What do fans want? Winners. How you get there, we don't care. Just get there. If you're cheating, you better be winning. And if you're cheating and winning, and you're winning a lot, we fans will find a way to, make excuses for you. But if you're cheating and losing, we got to get rid of you, right? Because, man, you suck. If you cheat and still lose, wow. We don't want you. If we're going to have a cheater, it got to be a winner. But anyway, in connection with Greg Sankey talking about what he's talking about, my point is you're going to go to court and get beat. 18 Nebraska football players are now challenging this College Sports Commission over rejection of third-party NIL deals worth over $1 million. We knew this was coming because you're capping what these players can earn and make without their permission. Well, there's salary caps in the NFL, in the NBA, in the NHL. You know why? They've been collectively bargained. This College Sports Commission has been set up without permission of players. Players didn't say, yeah, please set this up to regulate third-party NIL deals. No. Eventually, and there's going to be a long line again of players suing the College Sports Commission who have rejected their NIL deals. This was coming. You didn't have to be a genius to figure this out. So here we are again. What a mess. What a mess. All right, the NFL has some stuff going on. Let's get you caught up with all that in our next segment here on the Postgame Show. Kyler Murray could be a Minnesota Viking. My question is, why would the Vikings want Kyler Murray? Just a question. We'll get to that next and other NFL stuff here on the Postgame Show with Terry Ford. Yapping it up till 6 o'clock here on the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Max Crosby now wants to stay with the Las Vegas Raiders, and of course the Raiders wants to keep the edge rusher on the team. That shouldn't stop teams from calling and making offers for Crosby. The best option for the Raiders is to move on from Crosby and acquire a first-round pick. If you can build up this team around presumed #1 draft pick Fernando Mendoza, the Raiders still need to build up their offensive line, and the best way to do that is through the NFL draft. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Empower. After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he could be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirror-joyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats, looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Stuff going on. Kyler Murray, quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals last few years. Kyler Murray has been obviously let go. Cardinals have given up on Kyler Murray. Don't want to pay him franchise quarterback money, which is a lot. Even though they are stuck with 30-some million guaranteed and dead money like nobody's business from this contract extension they gave him. They were just like, look, we'll eat it and move on, man. And Murray, let's see, guaranteed almost $37 million in 2026. They're avoiding another $19.5 million that he would have gotten guaranteed for 2027 in the beginning of the league year. The dead cap hit is about $37 million for 2026. If you look at it. Overall, now getting out from under this thing, dead money. Trying to look at the total. It's an amount you got to deal with. You got 36 million, 52. The cap number would be 52 this year, so they got 36 million in guaranteed they got to eat in the final year. So they got about $37 million dead cap figure for this coming up year. And they just want to move on from Kyler Murray. Again, Kyler Murray on the field isn't... Look, there were moments, Kyler Murray, you go, guy's got some serious talent. And he did. Did have serious talent. The talent was never the question with Kyler Murray. The question with Kyler Murray his whole career was from the neck up playing quarterback. It's always been the conversation. And what held him back from being a true franchise quarterback was, again, when you got to put in his contract that he's got to watch film and study, that tells you he's not watching film, he's not studying the way he needs to. Look, Kyler Murray's career, his quarterback rating, his career is about 92, which is below average. Completion percentage is good at 67%. Solid yards per attempt, 7. In his career, 2-to-1 TD to interception ratio, throwing the football. There's talent there. And there have been moments and times in games where Kyler Murray, you go, why isn't he better? And we know, because he doesn't put the work in off the field. Kyler Murray's like, look at my fancy physical skills there, Chief. Why am I studying film? Why don't you study film of me making plays, baby? But Kyler Murray, over a consistency-wise, over a 16, 17-game schedule, there is no consistency because he doesn't do the little things you need to do to be a successful NFL quarterback. Now, here's the point. If he does end up, Kyler Murray, in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell, one of the quarterback whisperers of the league, who rehabilitated Sam Darnold, and also helped Kirk Cousins reach a certain level, he could Kevin O'Connell help Kyler Murray? Absolutely he could. But here's the problem. Does Kyler Murray want Kevin O'Connell to help Kyler Murray? That's the question. Look, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I'm meeting with Kyler Murray, and I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm just being blunt. Look, word is you don't really study. You don't watch film. You don't study the opponent. You don't put the work in between the ears to be a great quarterback. Is that true? We'll probably sit there and say, no, man, that's not it, blah, blah, blah. Or would Kyler Murray be honest and go, yeah, you know what? I could have been a lot better at that, and I know I have to be better at that, and I'm ready to work. Michael Vick, the ultimate I'm using my physical gifts to beat you guy, when Michael Vick was with Andy Reid in Philadelphia, and Vick had the best year of his career, Michael Vick said, I wish I would have studied harder. I wish I would have watched more film. I wish I would have put in the brain work to be a quarterback. You think about it. With Michael Vick's stupid, crazy, insane physical gifts, if you would have put the cerebral work and knowledge in that like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady has put in to being an upper-level quarterback, if you could have like meshed those two together, and Michael Vick not only would have been a freak physically on the field, but a freak mentally, Michael Vick would have been unstoppable. Massively unstoppable. Plus putting the work in on the little things like your footwork as a quarterback and things of that nature. Think about how good Michael Vick would have been. Kyler Murray could be really, really good if he puts the time in. Again, the film study. The brain work. Make yourself more consistent with your fundamentals. If Kyler Murray could do that, Kyler Murray could... You want to talk about a guy going to another level? It's not too late for Kyler Murray. If Sam Darnold can do it, Kyler Murray can do it, but does Kyler Murray want to do it? That's going to be the question. If he doesn't, do you want him if you're the Vikings? 5 o'clock news coming up.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by eBay.
So I was on eBay because I'm absolutely obsessed
with this rare hologram trading card. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. eBay had it. They even had
perfect parts that fit my car.
Millions of finds? each with a story. eBay.
Plus tax and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for detail. March is a race against time at JT's Jeep Ram. JT is selling every single Jeep regardless of profit or loss. Every credit application and offer accepted. JT's been challenged to sell 100 Jeeps, making deals the other dealers can't. New Jeeps up to $10,000 off. Grand Cherokees, Wranglers, Gladiators, even the all-new Jeep Cherokee with exclusive million-mile warranty. JT's Jeep Ram, 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. Declaration of deal sales event.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor and call a Groundworks company. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Mount Valley Foundation Services, a Groundworks company.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
You never know when a moment might become a memory. With same-day glasses at iMart Express and 2 pairs of single vision starting at under $40 or 2 pairs of progressives for under $80. We're here to make sure you're ready anytime they do. From the most mundane Monday mornings to the most surprising Saturday nights. Get everyday savings for every moment. iMart Express. Get glasses. Go see.
Are you a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system? AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA Heating and Air now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling 803-677-1500 for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell her Jay Phillips with 107.5 sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Go the road less traveled. Unless the road more traveled would have actually gotten you there on time. Take the leap. Unless you're about to leap into a gator-infested lake, then do not leap. Don't even dip a toe. Anything is possible, like winning the lottery and not winning. And if that gets in the way of life's other possibilities, then it might be time to take a break. Because knowing your limits is an important part of becoming a better player and a better you. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow or even free signage for your lot. Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Accident has been cleared. I-20 westbound before US 1, that's exit 58. Couple more accidents, really one more. Leesburg Road west of Lower Richland Boulevard. Besides that, we got slow traffic I-20 westbound between Broad River Road, that's exit 65, and the US 1 exit, that's exit 58. And stop and go still I-26 westbound between US 1 and Bush River Road, which is exit 108. We'll come back at the 5 o'clock news. Get you caught up on what's going on in bracketology in the NCAA. We have championship week going. We'll get to that next here on the postgame show.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. Checking out what's up in the world of sports.
This just in. Breaking news is breaking out everywhere.
The 5 o'clock news on the postgame show.
If you're just joining us, I'm covering some breaking news. You know news is breaking because I'm telling you so, and I might touch my earpiece like this.
Sponsored by Integrated Media, Columbia's premier home theater and security experts for over 20 years. On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
So we have tournaments going on in the NCAA on the men's side. The big news today, Miami of Ohio, undefeated this year in the regular season in the MAC. In the quarters of the Mid-America Conference tournament, Miami of Ohio blows. I believe they had a 10-point lead in the second half, and they lose to Frank Martin's UMass crew, who, by the way, are nothing special. They're just Frank Martin's biggest win at UMass. As they beat Miami of Ohio, they come from behind. Give credit to the Minutemen. They get to win Miami of Ohio's first loss of the year. Now the question is, will Miami of Ohio now not make the NCAA tournament? Now they have to make it. You go 30-0 in the regular season. I don't care what conference you're in Division I. You're in. Now you can be a low seed. Is Miami of Ohio going to make it deep in the tournament? Probably not. They're an excellent offensive team, but they're very guard-heavy. I think they start 5 guards. Rebounding's an issue. They got tore up on the glass today by UMass. UMass had a ton of points in the paint on Miami of Ohio. So really, are they going to go deep in the tournament? Probably not. I mean, to me, their ceiling, if they get the right bracket and the right matchups, they could get to 16, but I don't think they get that far. I think they win a game. That's doable. They would be a low seed that nobody wants to see because they're one of the best offensive teams in America. But they're not very good on D. They don't rebound well. But they went 30-0, man. And their strength of schedule stinks? Yes, it does. But that's a whole nother conversation about, Power 4 teams or high-level teams, scheduling a Miami of Ohio. Is there value? Isn't there value? How tough is it? My head explodes when this argument starts. All I know is this. You went 30-0. Every team that's ever gone undefeated in the regular season in the modern era of men's college basketball gets in the tournament. Most of them are number 1 seeds. Obviously, Miami of Ohio is not going to be a number 1, nor should they be. But they should be in the dance. And if you look at this one analytic number, and this again, if you're not into the analytic stuff, you're going to be going, seriously, Terry, I got to sit down. I'm starting to get dizzy and queasy. There's this thing called wins above bubble, WAB. The win above bubble stat is a real thing. And it matters a lot in the selection of these teams. A lot of people think even more than the net rankings or the Ken Palms or anything like that. Miami of Ohio was 35th in wins above bubble, which that should put them in the tournament. So I think they're in probably a 11 seed or something like that, but they'll get in. I think, again, you're undefeated in, again, a mid-major, but the MAC is a solid mid-major league. It's not a low mid. It's probably a mid-mid. That doesn't even make any sense. So I think if you're undefeated, even if it's a mid-major league, the MAC, I think you should be, if you're undefeated and you play in the MAC, I think you should be in the tournament. So we'll see what happens. That's a big story today. And a big props, thumbs up to Frank Martin and his crew for getting that win today, 87-83 over Miami of Ohio. Also, we'll look more at the SEC coming up in our drive around the SEC. But if you look at top 25 today, winners, let me get to the bottom here. Wisconsin, they're in, 23rd ranked team in the country. They beat UW by 3. Iowa State, they curb stomped Texas Tech. Iowa State's good. The thing with Iowa State to me is they're not very big inside. That'll hurt them eventually. They're good, really good defensively though. Offensively, it's a lot of perimeter. They're good. They're a very good team. If they get the right bracket, they could go deep in this thing. I don't think they'll get to a Final Four, but they could roll to 8 with the right matchups because they're excellent on both ends of the court. And we always talk about this. To win the national championship, you got to be in top 25 team in offensive and defensive efficiency. If you look at Ken Pomeroy's analytic numbers, Iowa State is just inside that mark. 24th on offense, 5th on defense. But I don't think they'll get that far. I could see them getting to 8. They're a really good team. I saw Arizona. Arizona is athletic, and they're big, and they pound you inside. and they have bigs who rim protect, and they play D in the interior. Iowa State won none of that smoke. It was almost they were intimidated to take the ball in the paint against Arizona. I think a team big and athletic on the interior can really hurt Iowa State if that team also can make shots. Virginia beats NC State 81-74. We'll see. The interesting part of this was post-game, Will Wade being asked about the LSU gig if it comes open. It's not even open yet that I know of. Let me double check here. Has Matt McMahon been fired yet? I haven't heard. I'll have to look. But Will Wade's being asked about the LSU job. Remember, Will Wade he did good work at LSU before being let go because of all the FBI stuff. Where's that headline? Here we go. The job's not even open. I thought maybe Matt McMahon got canned and I didn't hear about it. And, of course, Will Wade's denying that because you have to. He says we're going to win big at NC State. Look, NC State wants to win in hoops. I think they will put more resources toward winning in college basketball than LSU. LSU's about football. And they finally kicked up the roster money for Matt McMahon between $8 and $10 million this year, and, of course, LSU still stinks. Wade would probably want even more. So, again, if they make Will Wade a sweet offer and promise him stuff and put it in writing, could he leave NC State? Sure. But Will Wade denying any interest in LSU. All right, bracketology right now, when you look at it, and NC State losing, Virginia's in. They're in. I think NC State's probably in as well. No, they're one of the last four in. Yeah, last four buys. So they're in. They should be fine. They should be fine. All right, back to our 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media, taking a look at the NCAA, looking at tournament week. St. John's beating Providence 85-72. Obviously, the Johnnies, 13th ranked team in the country, they'll be in as well. Games underway right now. Number 24, Louisville losing to Miami 74-70. What old John Lucas has done at Miami has been pretty good under the radar this year. Canes are in, obviously. 24-7, 13-5 in the ACC. If they win this game, they move on to the semis of the ACC tournament. Again, 74-70. 22 seconds left to see if Miami can hold on. 6:09 left in the second half. Arizona smacking around Central Florida. Central Florida, with the win they got yesterday over Cincinnati, will probably get them in the tournament. 6 minutes left. Arizona's up by 15. Auburn up by a deuce on Tennessee, 51-49, with about 8.5 minutes to go. The bubble. The last four buys in the NCAA tournament right now: NC State, Central Florida, Santa Clara, Miami of Ohio. I think those four are going to get in. The last four in the tournament: Missouri, they lost to Kentucky earlier today. We'll get into that in the drive around the SEC bottom of the hour. VCU, one of the last four in. Texas still hanging on despite their upset loss to Ole Miss last night. And SMU, they lost last night, but they're still one of the last four in. First four out: Auburn, Indiana, New Mexico, Oklahoma. If Oklahoma and Auburn keep winning, it's going to get pretty interesting because Missouri's lost and Texas is lost. Could they flop them? Maybe. And also SMU is out as well on this list. So Auburn, Indiana, New Mexico, and Oklahoma right now are the first four out. Indiana, by the way, lost in the Big Ten tournament. I think they're done. They got upset by Northwestern. The next four out: Stanford, San Diego State, Cincinnati, Virginia Tech. Cincinnati got beat. I mean, obviously those teams have to win, and they need help. So that's where the bubble is right now regarding the NCAA tournament, according to Joe Lenardi. 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media. Other stuff from the world of sports. We talked a little bit yesterday about the Baltimore Ravens signing Trey Hendrickson to a free agent contract, the edge pass rusher from Cincinnati, the day after, almost right after, the Ravens backed out of the Max Crosby trade because of injury concerns. And Eric DaCosta, the Raven GM, talking to the media yesterday, said he was gutted on the Max Crosby decision. He hated it, but they had to do what was best for the Ravens. Again, the conspiracy theories are out there that the Ravens, basically it was like this. The Ravens don't typically trade first-round draft picks for players. That's not who they are. They are very, very process-driven as they hoard draft capital. And look, the Ravens have been a good franchise. They've been successful. Haven't won a Super Bowl in over a decade, but they have been a perennial playoff team. They're a successful franchise. They don't go out of their lane and get wild and crazy and kooky. Trading for Max Crosby and giving up 2 number ones was wild, crazy, and kooky. You ever in your life done something that's out of your lane? Have you ever? And have you ever, like, regretted it after you started doing it? You're, like, in the middle of doing it. You're like, oh, my God, what have I done? I'm a moron. I can't believe it. Why'd I go on a blind date? I never go on blind dates. Oh, my God. Jeez, she just got out of prison. I would have never done this. I mean, that's kind of like if the Baltimore Ravens really did get cold feet and backed out of this trade because they didn't want to go 2 first-round picks because it's not who they are, would I be surprised? And they use the quote-unquote physical to get out of this? Would I be surprised? No, I wouldn't. No, there's no evidence to any of this. It's just, talk. And the Ravens have failed physicals for players before they've, signed in free agency. So there is some kind of past evidence to a point. But I can see the Ravens getting nervous, getting cold feet, deciding to use the physical and the knee to get out of this thing, keep those 2 first-round picks for the next couple of years, and then sign Trey Hendrickson, who's not as good as Max Crosby, but Hendrickson still led the league in sacks 2 years ago and had, 35 sacks combined in 23 and 24. So dude's healthy. He can rush the passer. He's just not as good as Max Crosby. Max Crosby is a game wrecker. I've seen the Ravens. Can I see them do that? Sure. Eric DaCosta, of course, didn't say it. He said, there was things about the physical. We didn't think it was in the best interest of our franchise to continue on with the deal. We felt gutted. We hated doing it. But we had to do it was in the best interest of our franchise. Look, those deals aren't final till the first league day. You can back out of it. There's nothing, against the rules or whatever. Is it a great look for the Ravens? No, it's not. Are the Raiders got to figure out what they're going to do with Max Crosby? Yes. Has Max Crosby's market diminished? Probably a little bit, yeah. So this thing was bad for everybody. But Eric DaCosta saying, no, it was truly the physical. We saw something that we just weren't comfortable with. Okay. All right, 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media. One other thing, by the way, college basketball. Adrian Autry was fired by Syracuse. The guy who took over for Jim Boeheim, Autry played for Jim Boeheim. Boeheim is doing some media saying the best players on the team let down Adrian Autry. And that's why he got fired. Syracuse upped their NIL to $8 million this past year, according to rumors, and they still weren't very good. So that spells the end of Adrian Autry after 3 years and no trips to the NCAA tournament. Syracuse used to be a brand in college basketball, and they've lost their way. We'll see what happens with the next coach. All right, we'll come back. Gamecock Notebook is next here on the Postgame Show on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today by dialing pound 250 and use keyword QC Kinetics.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for our good friends at Integrated Media. Listen, no matter what you need when it comes to home theater, the guys at Integrated have you covered. It really is that simple. 803-948-8327. You dream it. They come out to the house. They walk around with you. They design it. They install it. Next thing you know, you have years and years and years of fine family entertainment. Now you say, Jay, I don't really want to do it inside. I want to go outside. I love what I have inside, but now I want to enjoy South Carolina weather while I watch a ball game or my favorite movie. Ha! You can do that too. Amazing outdoor equipment built to be out there 24/7, 365, even in the South Carolina weather, no matter the time of year. They can get that done for you, too. Plus, they're taking care of you with golf simulation at Pro Swing, which is so much fun, both the Chapin and Forest Acres locations. They're ready to make everything you do a whole lot better. And they make house calls, 803-948-8327. Do what I've done. Live better with Integrated Media.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Mega Millions jackpot for Friday is $50 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds and a store near you.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand openings, 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to 10 grand off new Kias and up to 5 grand overbook value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
Bill Gunner here for Corley Pool Solutions. Pool season is upon us. That's right. It's time to make sure your pool is maintained and ready to use. And you know who is the absolute best in the Midlands? Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions. With their flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals, you know exactly what you are paying for. So if you're tired of maintaining your pool by yourself, call the pros. Call Corley Pool Solutions. 803-445-8109. Line up your maintenance today.
Do you have sagging, soft, or bouncy floors in your home? Well, this could be a sign of rotten wood caused by moisture in your crawl space. Damaged wood in your crawl space can affect your home's foundation, and that can affect your home's value, and nobody wants that. Say goodbye to sagging floors and hello to a stable foundation. Contact Canty today for your free inspection at 803-424-8380 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
After a really bad wreck, you're dealing with real problems. Medical bills, missing work, the insurance company runaround. You need someone who gets it, who'll work to straighten out the mess, and work to make sure your recovery covers every dollar it should. I'm attorney Michael Jeffcoat. I've been helping injured folks like you for almost 30 years. When you're hurt and need serious help to make things right, call Jeffcoat at 803-200-2000.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. It's time to open the Gamecock Notebook on the Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network.
Postgame show, Terry Ford. Once again, appreciate you hanging out as we stumble and bumble our way up until 6 o'clock here on the Game. The Game Network and at the Game TV radio, our cool little fancy YouTube channel. We'll get Elijah Campbell here in just a minute. Talk some SEC tournament, kind of go over what happened last night as the Gamecock season ended 86-74 at the hands of the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll get that here coming up in just a minute. But first, I want to remind you real fast, our Spring Golf Classic, once again at Charwood, April 3rd. Call 800-755-2000. Press 2 to get the clubhouse. $400 a team. We have Saki's Morning Libations Bar, also the world-famous onion sausage provided by the Lexington Gamecock Club. We'll also give you some lunch. The golf gun is back. Again, 803-755-2000. Press 2 to register. $400 a team.
Road tripping with the Gamecocks through March. Elijah Campbell covering the USC men and the SEC tournament in Nashville. Sponsored by Griffin Pools and Spas Lexington on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
We have to have the fancy intro. Get Elijah Campbell in here. In the middle of watching number 25 Tennessee and Auburn go at it. Tennessee's got a little breathing room now, man. Under 4 minutes to go. You said it was. It's been a thing, this game.
Oh, it certainly has. I mean, the building, I won't say it was dead. I mean, there's a good amount of Auburn fans here, but around the time Tennessee was making that run, which is a 17-0 run, mind you, that Tennessee has made, the tenor of the place has changed just a wee bit. The volume has changed just a wee bit.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously Kentucky takes over every year. It becomes a Kentucky home game whenever they play. But you said it got a little crazy there for a little bit because Tennessee-Auburn was tight for a while.
It was. Well, it was tight, and Auburn had about a double-figure lead for a good chunk of this game. I mean, Tennessee was kind of floppy with the ball a little bit, giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. And to Todd Pettiford, to his credit, dude, had about 21 points through the first 30 minutes or so of this game, and he was hitting some contested threes. Like, Auburn was hitting some tough shots. Kevin Overton hit some tough shots. And Tennessee was able to withstand that, and then all of a sudden it's Nate Ament takeover time, and now it's a little bit of different tune in the building right now.
You know, old Nate's gone a little wacky. 22 points with like 3 threes. He's been to the line a bunch. He's got some assists, some boards.
Yeah.
He is set, like, I know this is a segment about the Gamecocks we'll get to in a second, but Nate Ament is the ultimate wild card in the NCAA tournament. If Nate plays like he's playing today, the way Tennessee plays defense, and if Gillespie, the point guard, is sharp, Tennessee can be scary. They really can be in the dance.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, that's a guy that's a top 10 pick in the NBA draft when he's playing at his best. Right. And I think how even Tennessee fans have viewed him has changed so dramatically from, like, the first month or two of the season to now. I think really they've played their best basketball whenever he's out on the perimeter. He's making things happen. He's getting to the free throw line. He's getting really aggressive. I think that's kind of where you see the best version of Nate Ament. And when you get that, when you get what you got today, then he's their separator. If he's not playing at this level, they don't really have a separator. Jacoby Gillespie's really good. He earned that All-SEC honor. But Nate Ament is kind of the separator for this team. And I think you're kind of seeing the proof of that and what's going down on the floor right now.
100%. Elijah Campbell hanging out with us, sponsored by Griffin Pool and Spa. Let's focus, Gamecocks. Look, you've been on 50 shows today here talking about last night. Last night's over. Forget it. Done.
Yes.
Now this program moves forward. Obviously, Lamont Paris is coming back with what Jeremiah Donati says. They will give Lamont the resources to be able to compete to build a roster in the SEC, which means, according to everything I've read and heard and watched, that means $8 to $10 million to build a roster in the SEC. That's kind of the average wheelhouse. So getting that, if I gave Elijah Campbell $8 to $10 million, I said you can't drink craft beer. I said you got to focus on building a roster. First of all, you'd cry uncontrollably, and then two, if you're going to build a roster, what type of players are you going to go get to get South Carolina's men's basketball program turned around?
Yeah, first things first, I would have to make a promise I can't keep with the whole craft beer card. I would make the promise with just no mental guarantee to myself that I have the capability of keeping. But when it comes to the roster for South Carolina, I think Lamont made a point last night, too, where because I asked him, what did you learn from this season? And he said the one thing that he learned was that this job requires a lot of patience, and sometimes you cannot rush the development. So if that's what he learned this year, if that was maybe the grand lesson, then when you're building this team for next year, you need just to get guys who are further along in their development. And how would you know that? Well, they become much more productive players at their previous stops. Like, for example, Kobe Knox develops throughout the year. I think anybody who watched every game of this team this year can look at Kobe Knox and say, you definitely got better as the season went along. Mm-hmm. However, if you were like this on March 12th, on November 1st, and you got to develop into an even better player throughout the course of the year, then this team would have been in a better position. You could say the same thing about Mike Sharjop's, Michi Johnson in the point guard role. It would have helped out a lot more if they were where they were right now earlier in the season. It kind of breaks out a larger margin for error for them. And I think what they need to do is kind of like emphasize having or getting guys in the portal that are just a little more productive at their previous stops and a little more proven, right? Like if you want to get a true point guard, spend that money to get a guy who is getting 6 or 7 assists a game. And this is not something they haven't done already. I mean, when they got Talon Cooper, Talon was one of the leading assist men in the Big Ten. That's the type of guy that you would need in that situation. I don't mind the philosophy of going out and getting a lot of shooters, shooting a lot of three-point shots, but instead of getting a bunch of guys who are 33, 34% for their career, shoot for guys that are like 38, 39, has the potential to get to that 40% mark to make them one of the best shooters in the game. That's kind of the type of players you need to go get. And I'm not saying go get just high major transfers. There are plenty of those type of guys that are developed and already really good players at the D1 level at places, the Big South or the SoCon, but you just got guys that are already more proven for the role that you're going to get them for. I think the big thing is just get you a point guard who can run the offense, who can be a facilitator, can be the form of the machine that you have, and then get more size. I mean, I think it's not impossible to win playing small ball in the SEC, but the degree of difficulty is enhanced. I think you got to be able to get 6'10", 7-foot guys that are playable, that you can rely on to give you 25 to 30 minutes a game, and that you're not going to just give up lobs in the way that we saw them give up lobs in SEC play. So to me, those are the really big things. If you want to look at prototype players, you need better shooters that are proven shooters. You need offensive distributors who play a natural position, and you also need a lot more size than you came into this year. That's kind of the starting point I think I would jump for.
Real quick in the last minute, South Carolina bring back Lamont Paris. Is that the right road in your opinion? And by giving him more money, is that the right way to go? In your opinion, give him a chance with more money and see what he can do? Or were you thinking maybe you should have looked at going in another direction?
I would have looked at going in another direction, personally. That's what I would have done. However, if Jeremiah Donati says, I 1,000% truly do believe in his coaching ability, and you truly believe that in your heart of hearts, and you haven't given him the resources needed to win at this level, then you have to do what you did. If you truly believe that, but you haven't given him everything to see if he can maximize that, then you would have left some on the table if you did part ways with him. So if that's what they truly believe, that he is the right guy for this job, and they just haven't given him the money, you have to at least see what he does with comparable money to his peers.
All right, you're sponsored by Griffin Pool and Spa. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with those cats.
Do you like sales, Terry Ford? Because they have
sales.
A lot of sales for their 50th anniversary sale. Yes, this is kind of a big deal. With all spa brands, Bullfrog, Tropic Seas, Generation, Marquee, $950 in savings on all spa purchases. Just think about what you can save with $950 extra dollars you'll be able to buy by saving that. And they have $500 discount on above-ground pools. So if you like saving money, Terry Ford, you want to improve that pool or be able to just add something to the collection, Griffin Pools and Spas is the place to go.
All right, Elijah Campbell, we'll yap with you tomorrow, my man. Appreciate you.
Sounds good, sir.
All right. That's Elijah Campbell live from Nashville covering the Gamecocks and the SEC tournament. We'll pop back here. Our drive around the SEC is next on the Game Network, and at the Game TV radio and YouTube.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips for AAA Heating and Air. Listen, one of the great things about South Carolina weather is it's usually not very cold, but it can also go hot, cold, warm, all in the space of a week or so, right? Well, you can beat the seasons with AAA Heating and Air. All right, here's what you do. You call them up. 803-677-1500. Get them in for an estimate. Get them in for an inspection. If you don't know how long it's been since you've even had your system checked, then it'd be a great time to do it. If you're ready for a new system, Roy and Dana Finley can hook you up with some fantastic opportunities, including guaranteed financing and a 15-year parts and labor guarantee. So do what I've done, do what our good friend Bill Gunner has done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Stay nice and comfortable all the time. And tell them we sent you. 803-677-1500, AAA Heating and Air.
Plus text and title with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. March is a race against time at JT's Jeep Ram. JT is selling every single Ram regardless of profit or loss. Every credit application and offer accepted. JT's been challenged to sell 150 Rams, making deals the other dealers can't. New Rams, light duty, heavy duty, up to $15,000 off with 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. JT's Jeep Ram, 378 Lexington or Greystone Boulevard. Ram Truck Month.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. Visit CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Don't miss out on this sweet deal from Grill Marks. Beginning this Friday at 9 a.m., visit 1075thegame.com and click on Sweet Deals to get a $50 gift certificate to Grill Marks for just $25.
Are you considering a new roof or repairs but unsure where to start? Crescent Construction offers free roofing estimates to help you make informed decisions with ease. Our expert team is ready to assess your needs and provide comprehensive insights. Visit our website, crescentcarolina.com, to learn more about our services and schedule your free estimate today. Trust us to guide you through the process with professionalism and care. Don't wait. Contact us today at crescentcarolina.com.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 1075 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 1075 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report from the Schroeder's Towing Traffic Center. Broken down and need a tow, or even free signage for your lot? Dial pound 250 and use keyword tow truck today.
Some stop and go traffic. First of all, I-20 westbound between Broad River Road exit and the Bush River Road exit. That's exit 65 and 63. Also more stop and go. I-26 westbound between Sunset Boulevard exit. That's 110 and St. Andrews Road exit 106. And we do have one accident. Garner's Ferry Road west of Lower Richland Boulevard. Right by Century Oaks Lane. It's only one accident. Nice work. Good job. I will pop back here, drive around the SEC, take a look at the SEC tournament, what's going on today. That's coming up next here on the Postgame Show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us for about another half hour on the game.
It's time for our drive around the SEC on the Postgame Show.
Georgia on the mountaintop. Demons be gone, and the drought is over. National champions.
On the Game Network and on 1075 The Game app.
All right, Crescent Construction Grand Slam contest. It's simple. Gamecock hitter smacks a grand slam with the bases, obviously with the bases loaded. It's a grand slam. I'm loopy. Hits a grand slam, you can win cash. Pot goes up $25 every game. Go to 1075thegame.com to register. It's that simple. And, of course, we get it back going tomorrow night, 6:15. Our coverage begins in Gainesville with Derek and Stewart on the call, South Carolina and number 23, Florida. That's on the game here in Columbia at 107.5 and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach at 100.3 the game. All right, SEC tournament, second round going on today. Kentucky, they beat Missouri 78-72. This is a good basketball game. It was a one-possession contest late. And basically, Otega Owe, Kentucky's go-to guy, made a couple of plays late, where Missouri's go-to guy, Mark Mitchell, had a fabulous game, by the way, didn't make plays late on a couple of possessions. And that's where it swung. It's a shame because Mitchell was so good in this game. 32 points, 13 of 21 shooting, knocked down a couple of threes. Only 4 or 7 from the line, but also had 7 rebounds. Problem was he had 4 turnovers, and 1 turnover was big late. When again, he was just trying to make a play. But Mitchell was fabulous, and he was the reason Missouri was in the game. Owe at the end made a couple of plays. And Owe was good, 9 of 18 from the floor, 21 points, 2 of 6 from 3. But again, it's a shame Mitchell couldn't convert on 2 straight trips down the court when the game was tight at the end because he had such a fabulous game. Kentucky, they had 3 guys in double figures. Denzel Aberdeen also had 16. Colin Chandler chipped in with 15, very efficient, 15 points on 6 shots. And Kentucky advances. And it was Kentucky. It was an uneven type of game offensively. Missouri, they were better they were just as good as Kentucky from the floor, better from 3. Missouri, though, they left some free throws. Missouri's going to kick themselves. 15 of 23 from the line, 65%. That lost you the game, or it helped lose you the game. Kentucky moves on. I believe that was their 21st win of the year. They slide now into the quarters tomorrow, where they'll take on Florida. So my guess is Kentucky season ends, the SEC tournament season ends tomorrow for the Wildcats. Florida's just a lot better. Second game going on right now, Tennessee looks like they will knock Auburn out 70-62. Number 25, Vols. We were talking about this with Elijah a second ago. Nate Ament has just had a day. 27 points, 7 of 15 from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3, 9 of 13 from the line, 8 boards, 4 assists, only 1 turnover, 3 blocks defensively. Nate Ament, when he is on his game, to Elijah's point, is a lottery pick. I think it'll be a lottery pick no matter what. What he has shown in the last 12 games, maybe. Rick Barnes finally moved Ament on the perimeter, where he can use his 6'10 length and his perimeter skills to be a matchup problem. And Ament has been a much better player. Still, he can be more efficient, yes. He's a freshman. He's got a lot of growing and learning to do. But you put a guy with that size on the perimeter with some ball handling skills, and when his perimeter game is on, when he's making shots, he's really tough to guard because at that size, he's going to get to the basket. There are no other guards at that size in college basketball. And when Ament is making his perimeter shots like today, he's very difficult to deal with. So Tennessee up 10. Now Auburn will lose and fall to 17 and 16. If you look at the bracketology bubble, Auburn right now is one of the first 4 out. Matter of fact, they were the first of the last 4 out. If Auburn would have won today against Tennessee, I think they would have been in. But at 17 and 16, I don't care how tough your schedule is. Yeah, you have a few good wins, but you've also got some bad losses, and you got 16 losses. You're 1 game over 500. You should not be in the NCAA tournament as an at-large. You shouldn't be. You should not be. Since Auburn won 4 straight, including a win over Florida, that was before Florida really got it cooking. Since then, 1-3, 4, 1-5, 2-5, 2-7, 3-7, 3. They're 4-8. They're 4-8. They lost at Oklahoma. They lost to Ole Miss. They lost to Mississippi State. Not an NCAA tournament team. Yeah, you got wins over Arkansas and Florida. That's good. Also, earlier in the year, you got a W. I know there's one other good one. You beat St. John's, top 20 team. But overall resume does not scream NCAA tournament squad, despite your strength of schedule. It just doesn't. And we look at this old wins against bubble metric that we've been talking about that really is the number one barometer of an NCAA tournament bid for bubble teams. Auburn is sitting at 44. That's probably not going to be good enough to get you in the tournament. But I feel like Auburn's season will now be over. All right, tonight in the SEC, 2 more games. Ole Miss, the upset over Texas. Texas is teetering, man. We'll see what happens. They are right on the bubble. They are perched on the bubble in an uncomfortable position. Ole Miss will take on Georgia in Game 1 at 7 on the SEC Network. Oklahoma, Texas A&M in Game 2 at 9:30. A&M and Georgia seem to be in. Again, Texas, one of the last 4 in. They did lose last night. Missouri, one of the last 4 in. They lost today. Oklahoma is one of the first 4 out. They are number 4 of the first 4 out. If the Sooners tonight can find a way to beat Texas A&M and move on to the quarters, if you look at the teams that are the last 4 in right now, Missouri has lost, Texas has lost. Oklahoma with a win, can they sneak ahead of an SMU, a Texas, a VCU, or a Missouri? SMU lost in the ACC. So if Oklahoma wins again, could they jump SMU? Yeah, they could. They possibly could do that. Despite a bad conference mark of 7-11, Oklahoma would, now they won 5 straight. If they win tonight, it could be 6, and they could leap SMU. So it's a big game for Oklahoma tonight. A big game. Ole Miss just has to run. Their only hope will win the SEC tournament, and they won't. Could they beat Georgia tonight? Sure, they could. Absolutely. But then once they move on there, their next game should be their last. That's what's at stake in the SEC. Really, tonight, the team with the most to gain is Oklahoma by beating A&M. All right, so there's your drive around the SEC. We'll come back, look at a wagering angle of maybe tonight's games in college basketball during championship week as we go versus the internet. That's next on the postgame show. Terry Ford, thanks for hanging out with us. One more segment to go, then we get to Best of the Game here on 107.5 The Game Network, and at The Game TV Radio on YouTube.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
It's that time again. Friday, April 3rd, the Spring Golf Classic at Charwood in West Columbia with our buddies Rock and Daniel Lucas. Once again, $400 for a team. And we have Saki's Morning Libations Bar before tee-off. Also, the classic onion sausage. Once again, presented by the Lexington Gamecock Club. Yeah, I know you're going to ask. We have the golf gun. Yes, we do. All that, Friday, April 3rd. Again, $400 a team, $100 for an individual. Very simple. Write down this phone number, 803-755-2000, and press number 2 for our buddies at Charwood. Again, 803-555-2000, press 2. April 3rd, it's the Spring Golf Classic from The Game.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood. Learn more with Robinhood at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Kyler Murray is taking meetings, but his schedule should start and end with the Minnesota Vikings. A chance to play with Justin Jefferson, a top 5 defense, and most importantly, Head coach Kevin O'Connell should be the only determining factor on Kyler's mind. The NFC North is wide open, and if Kyler signs with the Vikings, they absolutely have a chance to compete. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm self-employed, and we got sidetracked on our taxes at the 2008 recession, and it became a monster that we couldn't tackle ourselves. We heard about the Ecton Law Firm on the radio and contacted John. If you could classify someone as a miracle worker, I would put him at the top of the list because he took our problem and resolved it for us with our not only our unpaid taxes, but our unfiled tax returns from previous years. And I would highly recommend the Ecton Law Firm.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. And now, Jay versus the Internet. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
Now we're going to check out the world of wagering. These NCAA tournament games here in just a minute. Sweet Deals is 1075thegame.com. You go there, you look for the little Sweet Deals thing on the top of the website. You click it, you see all of our sweet deals. Like the Columbia YMCA, a featured sweet deal, 50% off a 6-month membership. We're going to have one start tomorrow for Grill Marks right here in downtown Columbia on Gervais. Great burgers, shakes, other awesome stuff inside. So we'll have a sweet deal for Grill Marks as well starting tomorrow. So just go check out Sweet Deals, 1075thegame.com. All right, let's get to the world of wagering. Need the music. Oh, there we go. All right, in the SEC, we talked about it. Ole Miss and Georgia. Georgia 5.5-point favorites over Ole Miss. I think Georgia wins, and they cover against Ole Miss. Again, Chris Beard's a good tournament coach. Mike White made it to the Elite 8 at Florida, if my memory serves me. Beard has played for the national championship at Texas Tech. I think Georgia's just better. Ole Miss has not been consistent at either end of the court this year. Getting that upset over Texas. Texas is just not a good defensive team. I think Georgia wins and covers the 5.5. Texas A&M a 1.5 better than Oklahoma. I'm taking the Sooners. Screw this thing. Let's go. We'll go with momentum. Uncle Mo. A&M feels like they peaked earlier this year. They'll be in the tournament, but I feel like their best basketball has been behind them. Oklahoma's on a heater. I'll take Oklahoma to cover the 1.5. Top 25. If we look at championship week, Purdue 13.5-point favorites over Northwestern. Purdue's had some issues lately. I think the Boilers win, but Northwestern covers a 13.5. Duke. Look, Duke has got injury issue at point guard with Foster out. 16.5-point favorites over Florida State. I think Duke will win and cover the number barely. Houston, 9.5-point favorites over BYU. Man, BYU's, without their second best offensive player, they haven't been the same. DeBanst has been going crazy. I think Houston wins and covers the 9.5 over BYU. Clemson and North Carolina tonight, number 19 North Carolina. Clemson, a 1.5 favorite. Very interesting. I'll take North Carolina to win and cover the 1.5 barely. I think it's going to be a really good game. And TCU in the quarters of the Big 12, taking on number 14 Kansas. Kansas 4.5-point favorites. I think Kansas wins and covers. UConn, they're a weird team. Number 6 in the country. They're 16.5-point favorite over Xavier. They should, honestly, slobber knock Xavier. I think they will, and they'll cover the 16.5. So there you go. Now, the bubble in college basketball, here's the way it looks. We talked about it. NC State, Central Florida, Santa Clara, Miami, Ohio have the last 4 byes. They should be in. The last 4 in the tournament, Missouri, VCU, Texas, SMU. Missouri and Texas have both lost in the SEC tournament. VCU plays tomorrow night in the Atlantic 10 quarters. SMU's already been beaten in the ACC tournament. The first 4 out, Auburn just got beat a few minutes ago by Tennessee. Their season should be over. Indiana's season's over. They lost in the Big Ten tournament, upset by Northwestern. New Mexico is in the Mountain West quarters tonight. I believe it's San Jose State, who upset Boise State. So New Mexico needs to keep winning and hope that they can get over an SMU, a Texas, or a Missouri. The next 4 out, Stanford's done, Virginia Tech's done, Cincinnati's done. San Diego State's the only one with hope left. They're in the Mountain West quarters tonight as well. So that gives you a little spiel on what's going on there. If I'm Texas and Missouri out of the SEC, am I nervous? Yeah, especially Texas. Losing, getting upset by Ole Miss was not a good look. It just wasn't. We'll see, because Texas is going to have to sweat. Missouri, I think, by getting to the quarters, I think that will get them in the dance. SMU, I think, that you better do a lot of praying if you're SMU. They got beat, 2 days ago by Louisville? So SMU might be the most vulnerable of these 4. And the one that might get in there, Auburn, I think, is done. Indiana's done. If Oklahoma, like I said, can beat Texas A&M tonight, they could leapfrog SMU conceivably. And if New Mexico kept winning in the Mountain West. Right now, they're in the quarters, again, that is tonight. I remember baseball tomorrow night here on the game, 6:15 pregame. The SEC season starts for the Gamecocks. They will travel to Gainesville to take on Florida. Josh Gunther takes the ball for South Carolina. Liam Peterson for the Gators. Again, everything gets underway with Derek and Stewart, 6:15 pregame. Saturday, also 6:15. And then 12:45 on Sunday. That's right here on the Game in Columbia and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Thanks a ton. Thanks, Elijah, for jumping in from Nashville. We'll do this tomorrow again at 3. Post-game show on the Game Network, and at the Game TV Radio on YouTube. Have a good night.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Spring deals are popping up early at Lowe's. Get 4 bags of Stay Green 2 cubic foot mulch for just $10. Plus save $20 on a Nego 56-volt string trimmer, now just $199 only at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18. Mulch offer excludes Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Plus tax tags and title with approved credit. Call 888-320-6359 for details. The all-new JT's Kia is officially open with their new state-of-the-art showroom designed to make your buying experience fast, friendly, and hassle-free. Get grand opening 0% financing for 60 months on new Kias. Put no money down and JT's million-mile warranty. Plus savings up to $10,000 off new Kias and up to $5,000 over book value for your trade. Get to JT's Kia today, I-77 at Killian Road or Greystone Boulevard.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment.